Hey guys, Garrett back for Sableye the Mind Sculptor, and sorry I'm a few days late on this. I'm moving, so just cut me some slack, whatever. This is a pretty casual deck, but I've had it win some games. It wins a lot more than you would expect, especially when you get the nut draws, which is usually how it goes with casual decks. Anyway, let's get right into the deck tech. So this is a bounce deck, and we're going to be using the best bounce spells Modern has to offer. These being Vapor Snag, which is the most efficient as long as you're hitting creatures, and it has that added little loses life benefit. Boomerang, which hits lands, so that's great. And Cyclonic Rift, which has the upside of the Overload effect. And then we've got in the main board only one real mass bounce effect, that being Engulf the Shore, which will bounce most of everything. Doesn't hit an Emrakul, which is kind of a downside, but we have other ways to get around that. So we have some counter magic too, in case we need to hit things on their way back down. Remand is like a bounce spell for something on the stack. Cryptic Command lets you draw a card when you bounce, and it also lets you bounce something. And furthermore, it lets you tap all of their creatures. It's really a great spell, should be in a lot of decks. And then Mana Leak is our hard counter spell. So Perplex may look a little weird. It's a very bad counter spell, but we're not going to be countering spells with it. We are going to be transmuting it. We are transmuting it for two cards specifically. Warped Devotion, which says whenever a permanent is returned to a player's hand, that player discards a card from his or her hand. This is kind of the main way that our deck wins. We start turning these boomerangs and vapor snags into full-on amazing removal spells, and wearing down their hand very quickly. And then Sphinx's Rev is our other 3-mana spell, which just lets you gain X life, draw X cards for X white, blue, blue. It is actually the only white card in the deck. We're splashing for it just because it helps you stabilize so much after you've landed a Warped Devotion. So, how do we keep this repeatable? We've got Isochron Scepter, which will let you imprint one of your bounce spells and then start firing it off every single turn. Snapcaster Mage, which will let you get back one bounce spell once. And then Torrential Gear Hulk, which will let you get back any instant once, which, in this deck, a bounce spell, Cryptic Command, that kind of thing. And it's also our main win condition, is just beating down with Torrential Gear Hulk beats. So moving into the sideboard, we have Thoughtseize to help us pick nasty things out of our opponent's hands, usually Planeswalkers and other things that our deck doesn't deal very well with. Detention Sphere, same general idea, but if you don't want it to go to the graveyard, Detention Sphere is a better option. Hurkyl's Recall and Stony Silence beat Affinity. Hurkyl's Recall, I will say, not a great card in Merfolk. I don't think it really gets you there every time. But with a Warp Devotion on the field, it does a lot better. And Stony Silence, obviously keeps them from equipping things, keeps them from activating their Ravager. Great card against Affinity. Rest and Pepperonis, very good because Dredge does not care about discarding their Dredge tools, it turns out. And Evacuation is our last little piece of bounce everything, and it beats Emrakul. If someone hears out an Emrakul, you just cast this Evacuation, and the Emrakul goes back in their hand where it is useless to them. So that's been the deck. It wins more than you think. Give it a little bit more credit than it looks like it's worth. And until Monday, peace out.